Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is Collect Up Coffee. I just want to share a little bit about what's happening right now in the north of Gaza. I think I made a video about the death marches, or the death queue is what they're calling them. So the IOF went into the north of Gaza, what's left of it, and forced everyone out, women, men, children, civilians, and had them line up, and they were marching them into either big holes that they had dug, and they were either burying them alive or like executing them via gunshots. But reports came out yesterday, their time, our time, whatever, that the children were separated from their parents. I think by this point they had already separated pretty much the men and women and children. But the children were all rounded up and put into a 15-meter deep hole. And then the report said that the tanks were driving around the hole and putting sand and dirt on the children, so like psychologically torturing them for like being buried alive. And then the IOF were taking children out and throwing them at the women. The person who reported this said that the women and mothers were just wailing and the children were screaming of fear, of course. And the IOF were throwing these children back at the women, but not to like their prospective mother, right? And then they were forcing the women to catch whatever child they got and run. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this world. I don't know what the fuck people are distracted by, that this isn't something that everybody can get on board with. The next time anybody in America bitches about a school shooting, I'm gonna tell you to fuck the right off, right? Because if you can't have... Oh, you want some chocolate pie? Sure. We're over here living our life. I'm telling you that. I am like making sure my son has a good life. Hi, you're on the pie box. Give me a sec. Ah, you like my new flag? Anyway, I have to get this child pie. I don't know what else to say. I wanted to make sure that you all knew what was happening, because I don't know what happened to people. I don't know. It's like the end of the Hins Hall 2. What happened to us, right? Have you heard the second song that Macklemore came out with is Hins Hall 2, and that's the very last line. What happened to us? I don't understand. I don't understand where the global outrage is. I don't understand why there's no empathy or compassion happening. And I mean, yeah, there's people who are fighting for rights, right? But I don't get it. You can't have empathy about this situation. Like, you don't put yourself in those shoes. Hang on. Paper towel. You don't put yourself... Wait, you can't make a big mess. You need a tray. Oh my god. Eat some of these noodles too, my friend. No, you're not eating that on my bed. Absolutely not. Eat some noodles, please. Anyway. I don't know what to say. And like Halloween is happening here next week, and everyone's just gonna be like, our kids. But like, What about the Palestinian kids? You know? I don't understand. What about the kids in Congo? You know? Since when did we stop thinking that human rights are subjective? I can tell you when. It's because of neoliberalism. It's because of ego. It's because of capitalism. It's because of the rat race. And I'm going to remind you, if you are someone that does give a fuck, which most of you, I'm hoping, are, if you're over here, whoever you vote for, if it's one of the two main candidates, you have a target on your back for speaking out against genocide. Myself included, and I wear that gladly. Like Sinmore said, I'd rather be a martyr than die of anything else, right? But I just wanted to make sure that I made a video about this. There also hasn't been any food going into Gaza. I think since it's been at least 2 to 3 weeks. So I can imagine if we're looking at what the IOF is doing, they're gonna do all of this in North Gaza, and then, you know, keep going south. A lot of people who are in Gaza, like Bassan, months ago, was afraid that they were going to make everyone go into the desert between Egypt and Palestine, and just landlock them. But Israel isn't going to stop. Kamala Harris is continuing to campaign and say that what happened on October 7th was the worst atrocity. And I'm going to remind you that Israel looked into what happened on October 7th, and they did all that scapegoating, right, that it was Hamas, but there were reports that came out, that Israel came out and said, no, we fired on our own people. So the people that actually got harmed on October 7th were harmed by the IOF, right? They fired on their own people, which is something that American soldiers do, American police, right? It's no surprise there. But I just, as a mom, the fuck? The fuck? You know, and you guys, what the fuck? Why? I don't understand why people are looking away. But I've always been someone who's looked at genocide and had compassion and empathy. And I also have a very strong sense of justice. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know what made the rest of you, like, lose your humanity. And if you're watching this and that's not a statement for you, don't take it. I'm only meaning to offend the people that don't give a fuck. That's all. But yeah, I can't imagine that terror. I mean, any of it, right, that we've seen. But historically, that's what colonizers do. They go after mothers, they go after children. Because they understand that love, that unconditional love. And that's the whole point. They're breaking spirits, right? They're trying to break the spirit. But the Palestinians are very, very strong in their faith. And that is admirable as fuck, honestly. And having endured this for, you know, almost a century, generation after generation after generation, it's wild to think about. What's wrong? Why are you upset? I'm done with what? Did you get chocolate all over the place? Whatever, it's a relative thing. We can fix that. Do you want to say hi? You want to say free Palestine? Can you go like this? Do you need a napkin? What's going on? Okay, I'm coming. All right. Try not to suck. Get the word out. Share the information. Pray. Send energy protection. If you're voting for either of the main candidates, you're voting for genocide to continue. The only vote, I would say that because of the undecided votes, there's been a lot of pickup for third party. So I wasn't going to participate, but I'm going to definitely hit the polls and vote for Jill Stein this year. And at least I will have that on my conscience, that I know that I did what I could. But I feel like there's a possibility. I mean, there's a possibility before the Electoral College. They're going to make sure whoever they want is in the office, right? They being the powers that be, the corporations, AIPAC. But people power-wise, Jill Stein does have a chance because of the undecided votes. Also, go stream Hins Hall and Hins Hall 2. Macklemore has done a really good job of using his platform. Again, admirable. And if you have any sort of platform, start getting, agitate your friends and family by posting information. Because then you can at least have a clear conscience. And whatever it is you believe in after you die, maybe you'll be in the clear. I know that's a really selfish thing to think about. But I can't imagine how selfish you have to be to not speak on this at all. So have a good one. All power to the people. And of course, free Palestine.